Bram Stoker's Dracula is the basis of many vampires romance succeeded in literature and cinema, appearing for the first time in 1897. Jonathan Harker, who's marrying his girlfriend Mina, goes to Transylvania to Dracula because he needs to buy a house in London. When he arrives, finds out that the Count is a vampire. Dracula leaves for England, leaving Harker with 3 cruel vampire women, and now will begin an intricate plot. The novel is well known and has been translated in many languages, and it has more transpositions than ever in history. This romance transmits not only the universality of the topics debated in it, but also a great immediacy through its narrative technique and the setting chosen by Stoker. Moreover, all the mythological references are demystified by the choice to tell the story through journals and private letters, as a daily report, and these make everything real for us. A great puzzle created with small pieces. Extraordinary is the fact that the Count appears few times during the story. He is represented through the other characters' points of view, and he never have the possibility to speak. We never discover how and when he became a vampire. We only know what the others knows about him, try to defeating him. They look at him in a non-objective way, as we can expect, and we can't know what he's thinking. Insanity is one of the most important themes in Dracula. More than half romans take place in a mental institution in London, where we find Renfield interned because he believes that he can find immortality drinking little animals' blood. Jonathan Harker is affected by nervous crisis since he escaped from Dracula's castle, and Lucy Weston shows signs of mental illness. Her bloodthirst and the way that Dracula satisfies her lead to a sexual desire that slips away from social control of 19th century. Those characters who surrender to their desires are punished. Dracula, Lucy, the 3 vampire women, and even Mina. Wealthy men appears winner in the story, not knowing that their participation to social conventions is only a trick to hide their violent and sexual desire. This explains how Stoker wanted to underline the great hypocrisy of the society of his age, and probably it still remains an actual topic. Dracula is not only the vampire that lives in his castle in Transylvania, he is more than that. He is a symbol of a man who is constantly searching a break with a suffocating moral of Victorian society. The impulse of human being is to be free, a force of nature that goes over the laws and that wants to satisfy its needs. Feeling terrified until the sensation of nightmare is easy. Dracula represents, in an original way for that age, the eternal fight between good and evil, a story that originates from nightmare and talks to our subconscious. The suggestion created by the author completely pervades us. Stoker gives us a modern perception of horror, transposing this kind of novel in his age, the end of the century. A key point of Gothic novels history. This novel is fundamental for those who love horror stories, a milestone that you have to know. Personally, I read it at the age of 15 because I love this kind of novel, and I can say that this is a masterpiece that today I still read as the first time. You are transported by Stoker's words, entering completely into the transmitted feelings. Coppola's intentions about the film were to be very faithful to the book. He even includes Bram Stoker's Dracula in the title. But creating it, we can say that even with these efforts, there are many differences between the book and the film. Well known are the incongruencies about historical data or those about relationships. Coppola tries to make more human Dracula through his relationships with Mina, and we know that in the book there are no relations between them. Furthermore, we don't know how Dracula became a vampire, but in the film it's specified that he was damned after he repudiates God after his wife's suicide. This is an attempt to humanize Dracula, probably not necessary. Very important is the fact that Dracula is not killed by Mina in the book, but from Harker and Quincy, making it a dramatic act of mercy by Mina due to her feelings for him. Clear in the film is the attempt to make an arts and flowers story when as basis the story was an horror one. A metaphor of society where Stoker doesn't feel himself. I believe that the choice made by Coppola to humanize Dracula has succeeded, but this makes him completely different from the original one. Inserting dramatic points about the relationship between Dracula and Mina, both characters are protagonists of another story. Dracula is not a monster anymore, but is pushed by his feelings, and this is very romantic. Is it right, the choice that Coppola made to humanize the character? Obviously, love stories are a great strength for movies and books. It's for that reason that Coppola wanted to insert this kind of relation between characters, or is it just a personal choice? Both the masterpieces are fundamental. They may not be the same, but they are strictly connected to each other for the inspiration that Stoker gave to Coppola to make this movie, nominated and winner at the Oscar and other prestigious awards.